Jeremy Vine talking to me last night. Well, lawyer Nick Freeman, who mentioned, is joining me on the line tonight after a huge response. Mr. Freeman, good evening to you.
Good evening.
What's your response, first of all, to Jeremy Vine? It says a bad driver or a bad cyclist is safer on two wheels rather than four.
Well, of course, he's right. Obviously, cyclists are far more vulnerable, and pedestrians are even more vulnerable still. And the fact is, I don't want to get involved in statistics, but there's an increasing number of pedestrians who are being seriously injured each year. And we've seen a steady rise now over the last 7 years by bad cycling. So what I'm talking about is trying to ensure that the roads are safer for everybody. In an ideal world, we would have a proper infrastructure where cyclists stay on cycling lanes, those lanes are protected.
You've said that there is a boom in toxic cycling during the lockdown. What evidence do you have that there is bad cycling at the moment?
Well, what I've witnessed myself firsthand. I mean, I think anyone who during the period of lockdown has been out walking and not driving, the weather's been fantastic, the roads have been empty of motor vehicles, and the roads have been taken over by cyclists and some pedestrians, and I've been astonished at the cycling that I've seen. Had you seen cars, I mean, going around bollards the wrong way, cutting in, chain, no signals, nothing, just the most appalling driving.
Jeremy Vine doesn't want insurance. As he says, he wants to encourage as many people as possible to cycle. And you can't argue with that, really, can you?
Yes, I can. I think I don't think riding the moral high ground is an excuse for road safety. I think road safety is paramount. You know, there are very vulnerable pedestrians who use the roads who are vulnerable to cyclists. And what we need is everybody to be accountable. The Road Traffic Act lays down legislation which applies to cyclists, but the very big difficulty with that legislation is it's unenforceable. It's unenforceable because we don't know who the cyclists are.
But I've got loads and loads of emails today from cyclists who are horrified at your idea of a penalty point system and insurance for the cyclists tonight, to put the other side of the, you know.
But why shouldn't cyclists be accountable? Cycling UK wanted a full review, and their governing body wanted cyclists to be responsible and accountable for the offences that are committed on the roads. We all need to be responsible. We all need to be accountable. I'm greatly in favour of cycling. I think it's a wonderful pastime. It's eco-friendly. It keeps you healthy. I agree with all Jeremy's comments in relation to that. But I think what he's talking about is the enforceability, the lack of enforceability in relation to motorists, which is obviously not an excuse for imposing law that relates to cycling.
And just briefly, it's simply a motoring lawyer, really, who doesn't like cyclists, isn't it?
No, well, that's complete nonsense. I do like cyclists and I do like cycling. What I'm trying to do is to make our roads safer for everybody, pedestrians, cyclists and motorists.
Mr. Freeman, very good to talk to you tonight. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And the subject is over. Thank you for all of the messages. Jeremy Vine got a lot of stick, I got a lot of stick, but thank you. Now,